In this video, we're going to cover Microsoft Excel. So by the end of this video, you'll understand some of the basic functions of Microsoft Excel. You'll be able to do things, like enter cell data, edit and format cells. We're going to create some new worksheets. We're going to create a table and sort the data within our table, and then we're going to create a graph from the data within our table. So I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to show you how to do it, then we can practice together. So first, when you first open Microsoft Excel, you're going to see this grid structure, and on the left you're going to see numbers, and on the top you're going to see letters. Right now the arrow is pointing to A1. So to enter data, all you have to do is click on one of these cells or boxes and type your data in. Microsoft Excel is almost unlimited in the amount of data you can add. You can go as far right on the worksheets or on the pages as you want. You can go as far down as you want. It can really house a lot of data. So once you enter some data in to Microsoft Excel, you can then format it. And in this example, we've created a basic table of data that shows favorite foods and the count of individuals in which have those favorite foods. So we enhanced our table by formatting it a little bit differently. So in row 1, we bolded the header, so favorite foods and count is bolded, and then we added borders to our table to kind of define it. And next we highlighted cell B3 to point out the highest count, or the favorite food receiving the highest count. And then lastly, we adjusted the column alignment. So you can, with alignment, you can adjust it left, center, and to the right. And this would just change whatever text is in that box. It'll change the orientation of that. So one of the great things about Excel is its sorting ability. So when we have a table of data, or we have data and we want to sort it, we can sort by numerically, alphabetically. All we have to do is highlight the data that we wanted sorted. We go to the Data tab, and then we hit the Sort button. And once you hit the Sort button, a pop-up dialog box will come up, and it'll help you. In this case, you can see there that first drop-down box next to the letter 3 there, it says favorite foods. So it's asking us what column do we want to sort our data by. So if we sorted by favorite foods, maybe we want column A alphabetized. We'd pick favorite foods column and hit sort, and that would alphabetize it for us. Maybe we wanted column B sorted from lowest to highest count. We would just use the drop down next to number 3 there and select count and then hit sort, and that would sort it lowest to highest. So another great thing about Excel is its ability to make charts quickly. If we want to make a chart for our favorite foods table, all we have to do is highlight the data with your mouse that we want to chart, go to the Insert tab, and then pick a chart. Excel has several different charts to pick from, and once you pick it, it auto-generates this chart. And most of the time Excel is really good about understanding how you want your data displayed. But if you want it displayed in a little bit different method, or you want to enhance your data a little bit, then you can use the Chart Tools options. And in order to access the Chart Tools options, you need to click on the chart. So once you highlight the chart and you click on it, then the Design, Layout, and Format Chart Tools will pop up. The last thing I want to cover with you is creating a worksheet in Excel. And you'll hear a couple different terms when people talk about Excel. They'll talk about a workbook. And a workbook is simply just an Excel file. That's it. And then you also hear people refer to a worksheet. A worksheet is just kind of a table of data within Excel. So when you open Excel, and you look at the bottom, there's several different tabs. And we can put several different tables of data. So say, we have our favorite foods table on sheet 1. We can add a new sheet and maybe have our favorite sports teams. We can add another sheet and have our favorite day of the week. So it's really unlimited in the amount of sheets and the amount of data that Excel can house. If you want to do things like name your sheets, maybe copy a sheet, all you have to do is right click on that sheet and a menu will pop up and you can choose what you'd like to do. And we'll cover that a little bit later. So now that we've talked about some of the basic functions, I'll go ahead and show you how they're performed. So I've replicated the table that we were working with, our favorite foods table. And I've got a couple of pieces of data to enter. And all I need to do is click on that cell, or that box, and type in our data. And I can hit enter, down arrow, to move to the next cell. I'm going to complete our table of data, and I want to enhance our data so it's a little bit more attractive for the user. So I'm going to highlight the row 1 here, the headers. I'm going to go to our Home tab, and then I'm going to click this button to bold it. And I also want to define our table by adding some borders. So I'm going to highlight our table using my mouse, and then I'm going to go to this button, and it gives you several different border options. I want to put borders on all edges of my cells. So I'm going to click All Borders. And lastly, just like we had in our example, I want to highlight this cell because it has the highest count. So I'm going to go up to this button. I have several different colors. I'm going to stick with yellow. Alright, now that I've formatted the table, I want to sort it. I want to sort the data by count from lowest to highest. So I'm going to highlight my table using my mouse. Then I'm going to go up to the Data tab. And then I'm going to hit Sort. And I get a dialog box. And if I drop down this menu, it has my 2 columns, favorite food and count. So we want to sort from lowest to highest count. I'm going to select count. And we want to order by smallest to largest. So I'm going to hit OK. And now my data is sorted from lowest to highest. Now we can also sort column A. So if we select our data, go back to sort, and maybe instead of count we say favorite foods, and we want them sorted from A to Z, hit OK, and now column A is sorted. So the next thing I want to do is I want to create a chart of my data, just a graphical depiction of this data. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight my data. I'm going to go up to Insert. Now I'm going to display it using a column. And it gives you several different column charts to pick from. I'm going to stick with a fairly simple one. And once you click it, Excel is pretty good about understanding what you want it to display. Now that we have our chart, I can choose to format it using these chart tools up at the top. You see a Design, Layout, and Format chart, or Format tab. First, I'm going to rename my chart. I'm just going to rename it Favorite Foods. And I want to display the count on each one of these columns. So I'm going to go up here to the Layout. Here's my labels. I'm going to click on Data Labels, and I just want the data labels put inside the columns. Now, there's several different ways you can format your chart, but that's just one example. The last thing I want to talk about is just our worksheet. So you look at the bottom, we have sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. We can create another sheet by simply clicking on this button. So there's sheet 4, click it again, sheet 5. We can click or create as many sheets as we'd like. I'm going to go back to sheet 1. There's my favorite foods data. So I'm going to rename this sheet. I'm going to right click and then click rename, and I'll just name it favorite foods. So those are some of the basic functions in Excel. If you'd like, you can pause the video and spend some time practicing. There are several good Excel resources on the internet, and these are just two of them. First one, if you go to YouTube, and there's a Excel is Fun YouTube channel, and this individual has just made a bunch of short videos on the different features in Excel. The second one is MrExcel.com, and this individual makes a living at teaching Excel. So he is very helpful and can demonstrate how to use the several functions in Excel. As far as applying this in the classroom, we just covered the basics, but there's so many options. So for example, our favorite foods table and chart, we could have cut and pasted those into a PowerPoint presentation, or maybe reuse the border functions to demonstrate perimeter and area understanding. And even as we get more advanced in Excel, the real power of Excel lies within its ability to do mathematical calculations. So there's several different functions in Excel. For example, you can do descriptive statistics on data sets. So you can do things like mean, mid, median, max, and min, and Excel will do that automatically for you. So we just covered the basics today, but the Excel is a very powerful tool, and I encourage you to do some more research on how you can use it in your classroom. Thank you.